To trade Yellow Tunnel. My name is Vlad, I'm CEO and founder of Yellow Tunnel, and today we're going to have our weekly strategy roundtable discussion where we talk about current market conditions and answer any questions you might have. For those of you who are new, welcome. This is my brief bio. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. If you're new to trading stock or options, I encourage you to visit optionsclearing.com so you can understand the risk associated with trading stock or options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor prior to making any trading decisions. Also, it should not be assumed that the future trade picks will be profitable or equal this past performance. Okay. Let's see if I give me 1 second. Let's see if we can send this. Give me 1 second. Let me just answer one question. Okay. Sorry about that. So before we jump into trading psychology, let's talk about current market conditions. We're approaching Fed decision tomorrow, so that's important. It'll set the path for the interest rates. So far, we're trading in the upper range since September, or you can argue since like August. We're trading most of the time below 4.2%. That's kind of where the 10-year yield is right now. Slightly elevated going to the FOMC decision tomorrow. Expectation is a 25 percentage points rate cut, which I think has very high probability based on current futures data and current macroeconomic data. But what's unknown is the forward path forward, right? What will be how many rate cuts does the Fed pencils in into the next into the next year, 2026, and that would be one of the main driver. And then we have unemployment data on Tuesday, right? Unemployment data on Tuesday, which also an expiration week next week. So I would expect a lot of volatility. You can see dollar is stable below 100, and if you look at the QQQ, close to all-time high, and spiders close to all-time high. We have equal weighted S&Ps already made marginal new highs. So expectation is that we're either going to break to the upside, right? You have the overhead resistance. Let's see if I have it on SPX. Right, so on SPX, overhead resistance around 69.20, 7,000. There's a lot of positioning at that level at 7,000. So we're going to have a breakout to the upside if we trade above 7,000, or at least retest near the 50-day moving average, which is around 6,700. If you look at the aggressive power trader, our model, you can actually see, right, this model gets updated every day with different potential candidates for stock trading high, stocks that can outperform the market. So today, Broadcom, you can see Broadcom is continue to trade higher. Let's see what the current price of Broadcom is. So Broadcom, at 406, we have Caterpillar at 600 level, and airlines, Southwest Airlines, continue to trade higher. That's what our model predicted. For short-term support and resistance, see support at 66.77, overhead resistance at 6.84. We're right at that level, 6.84. So short-term market is overbought. But for the next 10 days, it does see potentially reaching 700 level, right? Maybe pulling back to the 690 level, but then reaching 700. So in the next few months, it does see a breakout above 700 level. But again, it doesn't know about the unemployment data or the Fed decision. Assuming there is no negative surprise, then market will break to the upside. If there's a negative surprise, first thing first is the 6,700. So if you look at the if you look at the SPX positioning right now, you can see the main support. If you do the gamma flip, it's right at the 6,700. 6,700, and again, put in call wall right around 7,000. So as long as the market is above 6,800, 6,700, bulls are in control. You can see that green light, positive gamma, and the next main obstacle is 7,000 for the bulls. And I assume in the next 2 weeks, we'll see a clear direction, either Christmas rally and breakout upside, continuation of trading higher, or if there's a negative or hawkish tone from Fed or unemployment rate rising, then retest, 50-day moving average, and I mean potentially November, October lows around 6,500. Any questions? All right, so how do we help on yellow tunnel in terms of the, so first let's go to the expectations. So if I looked at the end of the year, right, trading is about probability of stock or market reaching certain levels, right? We can look at the end of the year and we can look at the January monthly expiration. This is where most of the positioning, or most of the open interest is. So if you look at the possible outcomes, again, 50-day moving average is 6,700 by January, right? January expiration, December expiration. That's if there is a negative news in the market. Positive, we're at 7,000 or potentially 7,100, right? So in terms of distribution of possible outcomes, 67% of the time we would be trading between 6,700 and 7,100, right? So that's scenario number 2. Right, this is scenario number 2. Scenario number 1, we break and trade higher, right? If there is a positive news in the market, unemployment is, not going higher. Fed is accommodative and going to lower interest rate. And then scenario number 3, if, some negative results, right? Either unemployment rate jumps to 4.8, or Powell says that they're not sure if they're going to be data dependent, that they don't expect any rate cuts until more data arrives. So that could also be perceived as hawkish. And then you have scenario number 3. So those are the 3 different scenarios. I think we will break. I think December, January, we will break to the upside. So I'm going to go with 1, right? Scenario number 1, kind of an outlier that we can at least 7,000, right? Kind of break through make new highs this year, right? Mainly seasonality and positive bias going into that event, right? So that would be scenario number 1. All right. How do we help on yellow tunnel? So you can see that we do have different models. We talked about aggressive power trader model. Aggressive power trader model, you have Broadcom, Caterpillar. Some of these stocks I'm trading, right? You can be able to see them in orders and positions. So I'm long Broadcom, long Caterpillar. And the model runs every day, provides you signals, short-term signals that can outperform the market in a short period of time. And the time horizon is 1 to 2 days. That's the model it does daily analysis. Sometimes I hold this position for a couple of days. Sometimes I hold the position for a couple of weeks. Depends, if I still want to have exposure to semiconductors, industrial, or transportation, right? So that would be aggressive power trader. And the main point is, to have no more than 4 active positions at a time with maximum loss of 2.5% of account value per position. Any questions on aggressive power trader? And you can see history of signals that generate every single day. If you want to know what was it yesterday, then you can see, Prudential, some of, IVZ, some of the regional banks also trading in a strong uptrend. Then we have weekly power traders, similar idea, but the time in the model makes prediction for the next couple of weeks, right? So the idea is to hold this for a week or two, maybe longer, if you want to express. And similar, you can see Key Financial has a strong uptrend. So some of the regional banks, then we have industrials, again, banking sector, and some of the retail stocks, some of the energy names. So this is all modeled to show longer term trend. And same thing for every day, you can see support and resistance. If you want to enter, you can see Prudential getting to the overbought level. Key Financial is definitely overbought level, but then you can see the prediction for the next 10 days and then for the next 3 months, whether Murphy Oil trading, trend higher, Prudential trend lower, long-term trends. And that would be the weekly power trader. Same idea for based on the trading style. You have 4 active positions at a time, maybe 2.5% stop loss. You can execute a strategy using out of the money bullish put spreads, right, or debit call spreads, or just single calls. Sometimes, if you're very aggressive, you can buy single calls. That's also something that you can consider. Olga, welcome. Thank you for joining. So that's the weekly power trader. So right now it's the same thing. If I do have any of these positions, you can click on orders and you will see, okay, I'm long Caterpillar. You can look at the positions, you can enter your phone number and get an SMS message. So that would be weekly power trader. If you want to, these signals, we provide you with the signals, right? Weekly power trader would be every week. You can look at every week. There's a published list. We give you suggested support and resistance levels, right? On Caterpillar, if we're at 608, that's probably overbought. 586 is probably a good entry point, around 586, 590, and it shows you, longer term trend for these stocks. But you have to make your own decision whether you want to trade these signals, which signals to trade, right? You can always schedule one-on-one consultation with our product specialist, with our product specialist or our chief investment officer, Keith. I encourage you to do that. Schedule one-on-one consultation. He can help you with your trading plan and just have a conversation, learn more about you. So I encourage you to do that. John, welcome back. Thank you for joining. And that would be dynamic power trader, right? Actually, there's a new one, split screen, I like that. Right? So this is the aggressive power trader where it says short-term signals. You can see them here. And the dynamic power trader is the actual position that I have. So I have a position Broadcom, BSX, Caterpillar, JetQ, and Morgan Stanley. And if you want to see what the current trades are, you can click on orders, same idea, right? So it's a combination of both stock and option trades. So Caterpillar, I'm long the stock. Morgan Stanley, I was long the stock, closed the stock, and now have a option trade, right? Place an option trade. Sometimes it trade option spreads, directional trades, sometimes single calls. So you can have combination of both. So that's dynamic power trader. Okay, we'll close this. So that's dynamic power trader. And you can click on AI analysis if you want to type in, analyze Apple, let's say, or NVIDIA or any other stocks, right? These are optionable stocks, that liquid stocks. The model can tell you what, NVIDIA is a very popular stock. So it can tell you in the next 10 days, potentially can reach 200 level, but, longer term, it's been underperforming, right? It's underperforming, kind of been trading in the range. So you do get short-term signals, longer-term signals. You can type in any stock to help you identify whether the stock is overbought or oversold, right? If NVIDIA drops to 180, that would be a good entry point. 186 is probably getting to the overbought levels. Any questions on the dynamic power trader? We also have earnings power trader. So if you click on earnings power trader, let's just say I hope it does some skepticism. Right. It's all for it. Lady, I got a lot of skepticism. You've been around way too long not to. I guess I'm in the hope phase that, again, with all the volatility going on the other stuff, I'm just looking for something I think, well, yeah, something that's. So earnings power trader is concentrating on stocks that are about to announce earnings. So we have Adobe, again, Broadcom has earnings, Chewy, Oracle. So you can look at the orders, right? So you have a Broadcom. You can look at the positions, right? And this is where usually I trade option spreads, right? So I can sell out of the money option spread on Broadcom. I can also, trade butterflies or counters, like on Marvell. Last week we had a butterfly trade. So the idea is to find outsize risk versus reward, where you're risking well-defined price using strategies like spreads, directional spreads or directional butterflies, but you could have outsized return, 50, 100%, 200% returns, right? So then you would look for these type of setups, and that would be earnings power trader, because you have elevated volatility, and then sometimes I have directional, like Broadcom. Probably a lot of people are positioned bullish into the Broadcom earnings, right? So it might not make sense to sell calls, let's say, or call premium, but you can sell put premium and use that to finance calls or call spreads or call butterfly, right? So that's been a popular trade in Broadcom. Adobe could be the other way, right? The long-term trend in Broadcom is higher. The long-term trend in Adobe is lower. So you might want to do the opposite for Adobe, because they kind of been underperforming in the AI competition. And maybe it makes sense to sell call spreads, right, for the Adobe if you don't think it's going to, move higher. So that's that would be earnings power trader. Any questions? John, Olga, Radmila, Patrick, Bob, Fred, any questions? Not yet. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So that's earnings power trader. And finally, profit accelerator. All right, if you look at the profit accelerator, same idea. You can enter. These are stocks position that I have. Again, Broadcom, Caterpillar, Morgan Stanley, JetQ are the stock positions that if you're not comfortable trading options, then you'll see example of the stock trades as well. And you can look at the orders, positions. You can enter your phone number to get an SMS message. You can look at the history every week, what the portfolio look like week to week. And most important, you can watch the recordings of live trading room. So you can go to a trading room and watch recording from this morning recording. We have Keith and myself going over all the orders positions real time, and also answer any questions about your orders positions, or if you need help, making a decision of how to structure trades. Then we definitely, we also have recordings, right? In addition to live trading recordings, you can look at the Strategy Roundtable recordings that we talked about today, but also active investor workshops, right? If you want to learn about options, you don't know what a call is or what a put is, and you want to learn about it, then you can find different webinars on, credit call spreads, leaps, regular option strategies. So that's something that is also available to you as just part of this training education that can help you expand your learning if you want to learn about options or stock or technical analysis or portfolio management. All of these topics are covered in the Active Investor Workshop. What else? So you can always go to dashboard. It gives you a summary of all of our services that I just covered and what you get. And then there is free services, right? Dedicated support. Again, Keith, his background is market making and working for hedge funds. He's our head coach, chief investment officer. If you want to talk to him about your own background, your own goals, we do offer one-on-one coaching. First half an hour you can spend for free just to kind of figure out if there's a synergy or a fit. So dedicated support. You can ask other general questions. So it's both phone support and customer service email tickets. You can talk to our bot. He's trained on yellow tunnel services, yellow tunnel content, and can provide answers if you need. Blog, we do have a blog. You can click on blog. Power Trading Markets, I encourage you to add info at yellowtunnel.com so you can make sure you get our emails on a daily basis. And basically every week we try to go over different stocks like Gilead, Morgan Stanley, Coke, and my personal just stories. So this Power Trading blog is getting published every Sunday. So add info at yellowtunnel.com to your list of contacts on your email provider to make sure you get it in your inbox, kind of white list our emails to get blog. Then you do have trading analysis, the webinar recordings. Today, every Tuesday, we have a webinar. Thursday, we have webinar with AGT, so keep an eye on those emails. And list of upcoming webinars. We have more people. John, Olga, Radmila. Anyone else? Any other questions? So as we approaching, let's look at the longer term trends and see if we want to. I mean, one thing as a bear argument, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been underperforming. Looks like it's trying to break out. The good news, it hasn't made any lows in the past 4 weeks, right? But on the other hand, it's trading below 50-day moving average, below 200-day moving average. It's been underperforming. So the question is, why is Bitcoin underperforming, which is a proxy for risk taking, but QQQ is close to all-time high. And so that's so that's the Bitcoin, right? I would keep an eye on this 95,000 level. And again, tomorrow, most likely, Bitcoin is also going to move with the market. You do have silver. Silver continues to break out. You have a strong, kind of this large volume breakout on above average volume. And, silver also makes new high. Gold so far kind of been trading in the range, not breaking out. I mean, tomorrow again into the FOMC meeting. Yes, silver traders expect positive, more bullish tone from the Fed. That's why you see silver going higher and potentially lower path for lower interest rates. Japan trades in the range, no new signal. S&P would trying to retest an all-time highs. Google consolidating for the past 3 weeks. And then let's see. So let's look at the other sectors. Retail stocks. Retail stocks are in strong uptrend, also retesting overhead resistance. So you do have a broadening of participation of the stocks. So that's retail sector. Energy kind of been consolidation, not really going anywhere since March. Metals and miners, silver, copper. We have a strong rebound after this pullback in the past few weeks. Consumer discretionary, overhead resistance, overbought. Healthcare consolidating, right? Kind of pulled back in the past couple of weeks after a strong rally. Utilities are also a little bit overbought on the AI, right? The AI trade evaluation, you can see build out of data centers, stocks that are involved in data centers are pulling back, utilities are pulling back, and it was everyone questioning valuations of the AI stocks. Consumer staples are still in downtrend, and industrials are also trying to break out of this consolidation since July, similar to banks like selloff. Home builders still weak. Biotech, very strong uptrend, right? Since April lows, you just got a one-way trade. I mean, overextended. I do expect some kind of consolidation, but still very strong uptrend in biotech stocks. We talked about equal weighted S&P breaking out. Small caps are facing overhead resistance, but continue to make new highs. So you can see definitely the outperformance. Broadening of the rally where the small caps are outperforming. Germany still trading in the range, not going anywhere. Japan been consolidating for the past few months. And then let's see what else is interesting. Magnificent Seven. So definitely people are trading away from the large cap. I don't know how long this trend will stay, but you can see Microsoft similar. Kind of see a strong support at 474, but trading in the range. Tesla at all-time high, where Microsoft is actually underperforming. Meta has been underperforming, right? You had a sharp pullback after the earnings. So Meta has been underperforming out of the Magnificent Seven stocks. Apple is in strong uptrend. So Apple, all-time high, Tesla, all-time highs, and Google are still at all-time highs. Amazon, Meta, Microsoft has been underperforming. And NVIDIA has been underperforming. NVIDIA is still, I think, below 50-day moving average. And today's PX is flat. Morgan Stanley continues to rally. Broadcom trading higher. Marvell pulled back after not including it to into the S&P 500 stocks. Kind of been weak, sitting right at the 50-day moving average. Gilead is weak, broke below 50-day moving average. Yes, Saks is low, Gilead is low.
Oh, yes.
All right. Any other questions? John, Olga, Radmila, Fred.
Make sure it's, and that might not be everything you want.
All right, if there are no other questions, then that's all I have for today. Again, try out any of these services. You can look at the pricing. We do give 30-day money back guarantee, so I encourage you to try it out. And if it doesn't fit your trading style, you can always ask for, within 30 days, we give you a refund. So it's a kind of a risk-free way to try out any of our services, whether it's aggressive power trade, weekly power, dynamic earnings, profit. And other than that, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you, Olga. Appreciate it. John, thank you. And we'll see you guys soon.